Go ahead.
Okay, so I work over at Herman High School. This is my 5th year over there, and I've been scholarship specialist there the whole time. And so I've gotten to know a few things. So that's what I'm here to share with you tonight. So all of this is actually from Herman High, but we get to go a little more in depth here and spend a little more time. About once a year I do this presentation in the fall for juniors and seniors and their parents, but we don't get a whole lot of people that come. So let's just jump into it. Okay, so let's just take a minute to look at the cost of college. So this is an estimated amount for the first year, so 2 semesters worth of college based on full-time tuition. This is just from last year, so about 15 credits per semester, so full-time. So that's what we've got for some of the colleges in Utah. U of U coming in just over $9,000. Dixie's more like $5,200.
And this is per semester.
No, that's for 2 semesters. That's for a year, tuition only. So no books, no housing, nothing like that.
Tuition
That's
and fees, right? It says
tuition and fees, yeah, right.
Which
right.
are.
Fees are, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And that's in-state tuition. If
that's
it's out of
in-state.
state, it's like $28,000.
Yeah.
yeah, I'll show you. So this is in state. This is because we pay taxes here, right? This is what we've got right now currently. Salt Lake Community College, Snow College. Some of the 2-year colleges are, of course, a little bit less. A lot of students opt to do their generals there and then move on, which they'll save you a few thousand, so that's good. And then also we've got some of the private colleges and universities. That's about what they run.
Can you say them out loud so that they can hear them on the video?
BYU is about 5,620. LDS Business College 3,440, and Westminster is about 34,000. So Westminster, though, Westminster is a private college. They give a lot of scholarships, big scholarships from their school to help kids be able to afford that. Of course, BYU and LDS Business College are, member-based. Non-members can go, of course, but they pay higher tuition. So, okay, so here's some out-of-state tuition fees. So you've got Harvard up there at $50,000. That's for 1-year tuition.
UCLA.
Down to Arizona State, which is comparable maybe to U of U, about 26,000. So here's an interesting thought, though. If your child gets an academic scholarship to somewhere out of state, say full tuition say you get a big full tuition for 4 years, that'll cover that full amount of out-of-state tuition. An in-state, someone from Arizona, their tuition award wouldn't be as big because they don't have to, you know what I mean? So it would, it does account for that. Okay, so financial aid, just a kind of brief overview. So FAFSA, which is grants, loans, and work study. So that's all comes from the federal government, right? FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. Okay, that's kind of just, you go through that portal to be able to access those things. Student loans, the big dreaded federal student loans. Work study is where they subsidize the pay that your student might receive on campus if they have a little on-campus job, that kind of thing. And then the grants, of course, if you're just destitute or not making a whole lot, or if they're on their own, they get married or whatever, and they're just struggling, the grants don't have to be paid back. So that's the biggest chunk, of course. So then you've got some state funding that comes in, and we'll talk about a little more about that later. The colleges have a pretty nice slice there. That's usually in the form of academic scholarships, but there's also a lot of other variety of scholarships that schools give, and we'll talk about this a little more in a minute. And then private scholarships. Now, me personally, what I focus on a lot is the private scholarships because I don't have any control over that other stuff, right? And they're based on a lot of criteria that I can't really deal with. But with the private ones, those are stackable. Those are the ones that you can get 7 or 8 of them and use all of them on top of whatever academic or loans you get or anything else, okay? So that's kind of where I specialize a little bit more. That's what people come to me for, is information on how to find that stuff. Okay, so we kind of talked about that. The FAFSA, usually people start filling out the FAFSA during the kid's senior year of high school. It's open in the fall. It's based on, if you've just got a graduating senior, it's going to be based on your income. So they pull in tax information, things like that. that'll determine, where you fall, if you qualify for a grant or for a loan or whatever like that.
Do you know numbers on where that got?
I don't exactly, it's pretty, I think most of us living in this neighborhood are not gonna get a grant. So,
Is your child?
We've done FAFSA
But
a
you
couple
can't-
times.
yeah, but we can get
They
loans
have
for
to
sure.
get
Yes.
Yeah,
We've done FAFSA, and it's good to even apply because, like one year we had a really bad year before we moved here,
mhm,
and so our taxes showed that we had a really bad year,
yeah,
and my kids got grants, but what I've learned is the poorer you are, the freer everything gets, so
right,
when you're poor, you get really good health care and you get really good college tuition. So
yeah.
it's almost worth that when your kids are gonna go to college, do really bad financially. Because then your college will be paid for. But FAFSA, the reason why it's also good is that they get that money transferred just into their account, so they can use it for housing or,
Mhm.
I mean, it can be good, but it can be bad, because they can squander it.
Anything.
Yeah, they can use it for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But the Pell grants through that,
oh, Pell Grants, yeah, we got Pell Grants. And
you don't have to,
You don't pay them.
you don't pay them back.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's when you're like barely married and poor and struggling. and
Yeah,
you
so
know,
that's, yeah, I would say that, and especially when you're both married and you're both working in school, the FAFSA really comes in
Oh, for
and you get a
sure.
lot, so.
And there's also instances where you there's a few private scholarships, there's one state scholarship, that you have to fill out the FAFSA before you can get those, to apply for
Are you
those.
coming back to
So,
that?
well, yeah, I'll come back to that. Another thing that I didn't even think about mentioning, but, if you're paying tuition out of pocket, there are some federal, what's the word I'm looking for? Refunds.
Tax
Tax
incentives.
Tax incentives, yeah, refunds after the fact. So,
Only for undergrad though.
undergrad, yes. So, like, for instance, this year, my daughter Mary is a freshman at BYU, right? So she got a bunch of scholarships, and she's paid for pretty much the whole first year, housing and everything. And so, of course, we're not gonna try to get the little bit back that we have paid, because this isn't a big year for us. We wanna wait until she's got a whole bunch of expenses that she's trying to cover, and then we can go back and recoup more of that, because there's limits to it. Does that make sense? So that's kind of, and we're not paying her tuition. She's gonna be paying her tuition, but we can do it through our family. Does that make sense? And then we can use what we get back and push it back to her. And there's ways to kind of do that. So I don't know all the details on that, though. I'm not a big tax person, but Spence is like, we can do this. Okay. All of you. Okay, state scholarships. All right, Regents is a big one. There are changes from this class that's graduating this year on. I don't know if are any of you familiar with the old version? I know Kim is. Okay, so we won't worry about the old version. Let's just look at the new stuff. Okay, so let me pass these out. This is a little one-page kind of a overview of what Regents is. So basically, in a nutshell, a student completes a series of classes through freshman through senior year of high school. So they have to have 4 classes of English, which is required to graduate. 4 classes of math, which is 1 extra math class.
Consecutive.
Oh, consecutive, yes, consecutive math, right.
Don't skip that.
Yeah, can't skip that. 3 credits of social science, which is basically needed to graduate anyway. 3 lab-based science, so that's chemistry, physics, and biology. 2 of those I think are required to graduate, so it's 1 extra. And then 2 years of language consecutive, so Spanish 1 and 2. If your kid takes in 8th grade, you're gonna have to go 1, 2, 3, because you have to have 2 years within the 9th to 12th grade range. Does that make sense? So the thing is, it is a couple of extra classes that maybe the kid wouldn't take normally, but I highly recommend this because the schools, universities really like to see the rigorous classwork, right? They really like to see the 2 years of language and da-da-da-da for admission. So that's basically what the state is trying to do, is better prepare students for college. So they're offering this as an incentive. So it has changed. So now what they do is once they've taken all the classes that they need, and it can be a regular level class, it can be honors, it can be AP, it can be, combination. they have to have at least a 3.3 cumulative. So they could have a B or a C even in one of these classes, and still, as long as they have a 3.3 cumulative, they still will qualify. They have to have at least a 22 on the ACT, and which is, you know, about average, or a little above average maybe. They do also have to fill out the FAFSA. That's one that they have to fill that out. And that's about it. So we don't know yet what the amounts are gonna be on this. We had old guaranteed amounts, but this year it's a whole new ballgame. So my guess, this is my gut, is that it's at least $1,000 because that's what the minimum award was before. Does that make sense? So we'll just see this year when they go through it, we'll see what they're awarded. Now, if the student is lower income, they will give them more money. That's why they're asking for the FAFSA information. Okay? Any questions on that right now? I have a bunch more, paperwork up here if you're.
I have a
if you
question
any
on that.
questions.
Is there a certain number that's awarded, or
No.
everybody gets it
Anybody
if they
that gets it
meet
as-
those requirements?
As long as you meet those requirements, it's not a competitive
But
college
it can get
scholarship.
smaller if there's
Okay.
Smaller
Yeah.
increments
Yeah.
for, oh, okay.
Does
My
that make
sister-in-law,
sense?
her
Yeah,
kids
that's
have all gotten this, and so this may be what the old program you're talking about. But she said the requirements for like leadership positions and volunteer hours and none of that.
No, no,
Woohoo,
not at all.
yay.
no, that has nothing to do with Regents.
Okay.
Other stuff though, yes.
However, yeah,
Okay.
colleges are looking at that.
Yes, yeah, admissions.
More than
maybe.
like,
Yeah. Yeah, but
Involved in
Regents
the
doesn't
community.
require anything like that.
I know, my kids won't do anything. They
Okay.
may have half tuition to you. Yeah. But they have to get in first.
Okay, so that's Regents. Let's move on.
That's what I keep telling them.
Oh, deadline is February 1st of the year that you are a senior, and then right after you graduate, they ask for final transcripts to verify everything. So it's kind of a process, but it's definitely worth
Say
it.
that again, February.
February 1st is always the deadline, the final deadline. They like them earlier than that, but
Is it every
there's
year or
stickers.
just 1 year?
No, it's just 1 year. It's a one-time award
It's a
now.
one-time award?
Now it is.
Okay.
Yeah, one-time award. I'm hoping it's more than $1,000, but my guess is they wouldn't go lower than that, because that was their old low. Yeah, and it's a hard and fast deadline. And they're sticklers with what will and will not count. I mean, you have to be watching it all along when you're scheduling stuff.
And they're very, very nice. If you call them up
Oh, yeah.
and talk to them, they will walk you through
Yeah.
everything.
Oh, I've called them many times. They're
They're
awesome.
so nice.
Yeah, and there's a
So
lot.
is it
more
a tax
information on-
thing? Is it a business? Where does the Regent Scholarship come from?
Regents is the
Just
Utah
federal?
State Board of Regents. It's
Oh,
a
that
Utah
makes sense now.
government, yeah.
So it's a state.
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Okay, so New Century Scholarship is if your student gets their associate's degree while they're in high school. So this is a lot of concurrent credit, things like that. And possibly also, so I'm, of course, I've been at Harriman High, so I understand how they work right now. It's really hard. We probably had 4 or 5 students last year that got their associates in high school. They had to do some extra outside of the high school work a little bit. So it's, it's for those really ambitious students.
They don't have anything else going on in
That don't have- That's all they want to do is have their work. No, it's surprising. We had some really well-rounded students that pulled it off.
That's
Just
awesome.
smart and ambitious.
So is that one, do they go to the classes at the high school, or do they go to the,
Yes, most of them.
okay.
Nearly
That's different
all.
than where I grew up.
They
Okay.
just have to, it has to be planned out like your whole high school. You gotta figure
So is
it
that
out.
like concurrent enrollment?
Yeah,
some of them
mostly.
count,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
And does the district still pay for that?
Yes.
Wow.
So concurrent enrollment, you guys all know what that is. That's where you're in a high school class, but you're also getting college credit for it. So it's a rigorous class.
And you do pay a small.
You do pay, I think it's like
It's like
$35.
$5 a credit
Yeah.
hour or something.
Yeah, it's really,
Really
really
small.
low.
Under 100, yeah.
Yeah, oh, totally, yeah, it's like 35 or something like that. But, I mean, so that, I consider that a scholarship myself, you know what I mean? It's huge, and AP classes kind of, they're different in the way that they work, but an AP class, of course, is gonna get you a bunch of college credit, for next to nothing. I guess you pay for the test, if you pass the test. So that's the difference. Concurrent, you don't have to pass a big test at the end. So I encouraged my daughter to take concurrent. She took several concurrent classes and got some credit. It all came through Salt Lake Community College credit, so you want to make sure that transfers to where you want to go.
That's what I was gonna say, cause
Yeah.
some of those classes don't transfer. They, at Utah State, they took a lot,
Mhm.
and so by the time my daughter Lily had got to Utah State, she had a really good GPA, because, I don't know, I mean, there's college classes, but or teaching them to teenagers. So the teenagers usually get a really good grade, I've found with my kids, maybe in the concurrent class. But Josh just doing concurrent with his woodshop class.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah,
that
I
was
looked at that too.
$85, I think, but maybe that was supplies, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think some of those though, if it doesn't count immediately for like, say, English 1010,
It'll count for something.
it counts as an elective or something usually.
But
and
really,
there are
when
some
you go through
classes-
college, when you've gotten the 4 years, that stuff doesn't really matter.
Not
Those
too much.
extras, yeah.
Not too much, that's true. So you wanna make sure it's doing what you want it to do.
Yeah, but it does boost your GPA, I think. I do think it's better,
In some cases, yes,
Maybe,
because they'll
yeah.
weight it.
yeah.
So for admissions for college, that kind of thing, they'll weight your GPA,
Yeah.
like most colleges will. Some of the credit that comes through Harriman High Oak also comes from, I wanna say, Snow. So it depends on the class. Most of it's Salt Lake Community College credit,
Which feeds
Um,
right into the year.
which feeds right into the U, UVU, you know, most colleges.
Although their credits haven't been accepted up at the U, Salt Lake Community College has not been accepted up at the U for the last umpteen
So,
years.
well, it depends
They
on,
are now,
depends
I
on the
think.
classes.
Yeah.
Some
you
classes
just
are.
have to
Yeah, it's been on the
careful.
program, I can see that.
How do you find out which classes they accept credit
So
from?
you
from
go
this
to
way or
the
not?
University of Utah website and you look for, what's the word, transfer credit.
Okay.
And most of them have something online where you can see exactly for which college, yeah. Let's see. Oh, I'm not sure what's gonna happen with the new Mountain Ridge High School, like what they're gonna offer right off the bat, I don't know where they're gonna be at with that, but our community kind of demands a lot of this, and so I'm sure if they're not doing it right away, they will be up to speed really fast, yeah. They probably will start out with a pretty dang good program, so. Okay, so there's that, I believe that's $12.50 a semester for 4 semesters, is that one. Centennial Scholarship is just a small scholarship for those who graduate early. So, if you graduate a full year early at the end of your junior year, it's $1,000. And then you just subtract $250 for each quarter after that. Okay, so if you halfway through the year, it'd be $500. It's just an added bonus, just, you can take that with you to the college you're going to in Utah.
And you can't just use it for anything, it has to actually directly be paid to the college.
Yes.
That you're
It has to be
going to.
directly paid to the college, and it's just a paper that your counselor fills out. So if your kid does graduate early, just make sure you get that from
And
them.
from what I saw online, it says, maybe you already said that. But, you can graduate like a semester early or,
Uh-huh.
did you already say that?
A
So
A
quarter-
year early or
500
quarter, like
quarter
it's
year,
according to
quarter
how,
semester, yeah.
how
And it's
early you
500.
graduate in different.
It's
institutions.
$250 per quarter
Okay,
ahead.
Totally,
Does that make
totally,
sense?
I'm sorry, I was tuning
So
out for
a full year ahead would be
second.
1,000.
But I thought that was
One quarter in
interesting.
it'd be 750.
Okay.
And there's actually also thirds, but I'm not sure how that works
Oh, cause
exactly.
you tried.
But they work. Anyway, okay. All right. So some of the universities have these grids that you can look at and go, oh, this is where we fall, and this is about what we would get, that kind of thing. So they're handy. I'd say maybe a third, half the schools in Utah have these that are just on their website. So it's interesting, and they can really differ. BYU's grid is horrible, horrible.
BYU doesn't have grids anymore, they stopped this year.
I saw one though a few months ago.
Was it this year? Cause they said they're not gonna do a matrix anymore,
No more
cause they
matrix.
were guaranteeing those spots, and I don't think
Oh.
they can.
But it was like seriously 36
Yeah.
and 4.0 and then
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah,
it was
and
just
you, no
bad.
guarantees.
So this one's for SUU. It's just straight GPA and ACT. And they're just saying, okay, you're about in this range. Okay, so a bigger school, a harder school, the U is gonna have a stricter range than say Snow
And
College.
it's getting stricter.
And it gets harder and harder, yeah.
So does that mean, so what they're saying is if you fall in that category, you could apply, or you're,
No, that's about what
That's
you
what
can
you can
expect
get. Okay.
for a scholarship,
Yeah.
yeah. So
like, there's not a limit to the amount they would give at SUU, for example?
that's what they're gonna offer you. What do you mean, the amount, the
So
number?
up in the black, you're gonna get full scholarship, it says.
So up in the black,
In
if
the
you're,
red.
if you've got a 3.8 and a 35, that's your school score,
Full
and you
tuition.
will get full tuition for 8 semesters
So
offered to you.
Anyone that.
Anyone in
Falls
there will
into
get that, yeah. But they
If
make
take
these
into other
offers,
things, yeah.
they make these offers, but half the kids don't go there, or
Yeah.
a lot of them do, so it's really kind of sliding, but that's, you know, that's what you should expect for those ranges.
Can I just add one thing?
Yeah.
I've had kids go to BYU Idaho, University of Utah, BYU, UVU, and Utah State. So I'm kind of a little bit experienced in all the different areas. I would say Utah State has the best financial help, and I mean, from what I've seen, if you have grandparents that went there, they really, really work with you
Yeah.
on
Love that.
financial help. And there's lots of scholarships, and they work with, they were the best ones that helped find me crazy things and good things for my kids, and they're a little bit more willing than the bigger, like than the
Yeah.
U or UVU or BYU.
Yeah, they're a little bit smaller school, not, I mean, they're not small, but.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you say Utah State?
yeah, I mean, you can find help, you can get help from any.
I guess you can, but I just think that they,
Maybe they were a little more, I don't know.
Michelle,
Well,
It depends on,
she
it
said Utah
depends on the
State,
people
right?
working there too. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, honestly,
yeah,
their
no,
knowledge
I
is-
mean, not just the people, I'm just saying what we
What
were
was the
able to
department?
get versus,
Oh, okay.
cause BYU doesn't, like, they don't offer the things like, at this, because their prices are lower, they don't offer all the
Right.
scholarships that you would
Right.
need.
Right,
But like, if you were going to go to UVU or the U or Utah State, I would just say, start at Utah State, have a lot of
mhm.
experience with that one.
Except for that, say, you know, my son Jacob's going to UVU, he's commuting, he doesn't have to pay housing, tuition, you know, that.
Yeah, so there
You know
is
what I mean?
that,
There's a
yeah,
lot
that's
of
true.
things to
Well,
think about.
and there's 3 new women presidents, and the colleges are changing like crazy because we have women over them, and it's awesome. And so things are changing. Like
Okay,
behaving
so we'll
for-
see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, because UVU just like,
Yeah, they just got
just
rid
added maternity leave today for their employment, their employees, and like, they're adding so many master's programs, and then the U, like, so I
Yeah.
think with the woman in charge, and same at the U, it's gotten so different since Ruth has taken over. So you never know.
Nice.
It is
Okay.
different, but they still have to move within certain parameters.
Yeah,
They can't,
yeah.
you know, but yeah, things, you know, and things are always shifting too, because honestly, you know, this old model of you go to college and you get a 4-year
Yeah.
bachelor degree, you know, that's just not
Doesn't
one
happen
size fit all,
anymore.
at all, anymore.
No.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many, trade schools and different things that, you know, that are fantastic, you know,
Yeah.
it's just, a 4-year degree is not for everybody, it's just not, and don't let anyone tell you that. And there is financial aid available for other types of after high school training and things like that, so, you know, it's just get out there and look.
So these private scholarships can work for other schools that you were talking, you said that's where you kind of focus, you don't have to use them at a university.
Yeah, well, it depends on the scholarship.
Oh, okay.
So we'll get into that a little bit more, but let me,
I will say
okay.
too that my daughter went to Paul Mitchell Hair School.
Yeah.
And FAFSA worked for Paul Mitchell Hair
Yes.
School too.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's a good hairstylist now.
Okay, so other types of scholarships from the colleges themselves besides academic, there's definitely leadership scholarships, things like, what's ambassador positions that will give you scholarships, things like that. Community service scholarships, occasionally you see that. Diversity scholarships for sure. Departmental, you know, say you're this wonderful flute player and they need that in their orchestra or whatever, you know, maybe they'll offer you a scholarship for that. Alumni scholarships, like you're talking Utah State or, you know, wherever, you know, you guys went to school, you know, they might offer your kids something. And, you know, some of the alumni ones, though, they're not huge scholarships, but they certainly add to it, so it's awesome to pursue that if they're wanting to go. Need-based, there is some of that. And then, and so those are all accessed through the scholarship page or through the office from the university themselves, okay? So you just have to kind of hunt for those. Okay, private scholarships. So these are scholarships offered from companies, organizations, individuals, people that want to help, you know. Yes?
I have a quick random question about another one. So looking on their webpage, can you apply for those scholarships before you've been accepted, or do you wait till you're accepted into the college?
No, you, generally speaking, you wait till you're accepted.
And then they'll-
Or at the same time as you're applying.
Okay.
You'll be looking for those and applying. Okay, so I always encourage parents and students to ask their employers if there's any scholarships offered, because sometimes there are, and we'll talk a little more about that too. So huge range of criteria that you can find private scholarships for. I mean, huge. lots of stuff out there. And of course you can stack them, use multiple awards. Okay, so I'm just, like I said, going from Harriman High School. Let me show you what we have at the high school, just because it's a good place to start. Okay, so right now we've got Scholarship Thursdays that go on. If you have a student over at the high school, have them utilize this. So it's just workshops right next to the counseling center during that time, which is 9 to 9:30, and after school from 2:30 to 3. I'm in charge of those. I'm in there. I can answer questions, help guide them, whatever. It's time. They can just sit at a computer and be working on it, looking for, applying for, all of that stuff. Okay, I assume the new high school had that. So here's the big, the big news flash. I'm gonna try to go over to the new high school. Hopefully, I'll get in a position over there, somewhere in the counseling center. We'll see. I don't know, but I'm hoping both schools. Obviously, if I leave, I would train whoever to maintain this and bring a lot of this stuff over there. We'll see what happens. They may not have enough funding right now for a scholarship person anyway, but we'll see. So we also have a remind system up right now where the student signs up for it and they get text sent directly to them about a month ahead of, hey, there's this scholarship coming, it's due this day, it's this much, and here's a link. Okay. So I only have juniors and seniors on here because that was the presentation I was doing. There's also sophomore and freshman reminds that you sign up for it. It's by the year that they graduate. So the class of 2019 is at Mustang 19, etc. So seniors get about one a day. Juniors, sophomores, freshmen get maybe one a week-ish. But it's stuff they can apply for right now that's,
Like the
ahead of-
essays, like if you read, are those the essay ones? Like,
a lot of them
Or
are
is that
essays, not all, but some
Yeah.
of them are. A lot of them are. Yeah, especially before you're a senior, a lot of them are essays based, but not all of them. There's a lot of other stuff too. So that's one thing we do. And parents can sign up for those too. Like I remember when Jacob was in high school, I signed up to receive stuff. I didn't, it was a different lady. We got a few emails. It was good. But a lot of those won't appeal or apply to you, but it's worth getting them just for that 1 in 10. They're like, oh, hey, that's a good one for that. So on our website, it's not, you don't have to go through counseling.harrimanhigh.org. You can just go to main hub school sites, harrimanhigh.org, and then there's just a drop-down menu that's counseling, and then there's a scholarship page. And there's links. There's a lot of information on there. There's a lot of different links, and we'll talk about a little more about that stuff. Or you can talk to me. Okay, so the database that's on the website looks kind of like that for starters. It's hundreds of scholarships. It's arranged by, it's color-coded too. I try to keep it all color-coded. This is what I maintain here at the high school.
so do you have all
Not
these
here.
names? Kristen?
What?
Is this your, like,
I do.
founding member?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I've created this. So it's who offers it, and then there's a hyperlink that takes you right to the website or to the application. What it's due, how much it's worth, and then who can apply and basically what it is. So the blue ones are senior only. Green ones are freshmen, sophomore, junior, senior, So this is page 1 of, I don't even know how many pages, lots of pages. I don't put the due date, the exact date, because it changes every year and sometimes they shift around. There's always going to be mistakes in here. I'm always updating it. But it's a beast. But it's a great resource. And I do try to put, if it's seniors and undergrads, I put that in there too. If people want to come back and use it for, once they're in college. They can go back,
That's awesome.
So this is where I take the information that goes out on the texts and the emails. But there's more on this than go out on the texts and emails. So my biggest, probably, advice, my best advice would be to take a weekend or something and comb through this sucker. And just pull out, okay, these ones looks like, or when your kid gets a little older, when they get closer to, junior year or something like that, get a plan. Pull out the ones that you think would fit, get them on your own separate Google sheet or calendar of some sort in order of when they're due. Here's the link, here's what's required for that one, and just use that as your little Bible so that you get those deadlines. Does that make sense? Because when they pass the deadline, it's gone. They'll throw it out. So, and then once you've done that, then you can move to scholarship search engines. So, search engines. There's quite a few out there. They're free. Okay, and there's links to them also on the Harriman High Scholarship page. Those are some of the main ones, the bigger ones: FastWeb, Chegg, academics, those ones. So basically, you give them your information, or the student's information, and they can send you scholarships that they think would fit you. If that makes sense. So the more information you feed them, the better they can kind of know. You'll get a lot of random stuff out of this. Some of it will be the same as on my chart, but they'll probably throw you a few other ones as well. The search engines should always be free. There are some scams out there, okay, so just beware of that. All the ones that we've got on our page are legit. Okay. Also, some people like to set up a separate email just for scholarship stuff, because you will get some ads and things like that. And then when you're done with that, you can just get rid of the email address, right? So it's a thought. Okay, scams. Don't pay for searches. Don't pay to apply for a scholarship. Now, once in a blue moon, there's one that has a small fee or something that is legitimate. It's up to you at your discretion. But the vast majority will give you money, not take your money, right? That's the point. So, be wary of scholarships that don't have any way to contact them, okay? If you can't find a history of past winners, use caution. Of course, new scholarships come out that don't have winners yet, but just, just have that in the back of your head. Personal financial information, usually that's not a requirement. Once in a while it is. So again, just use real caution with that if you're giving out any of that information. If you get a notice that you want a scholarship you didn't apply for. Yeah. Search fees and kinds of exclusive access should raise red flags. Scholarships want people to hear about it, right? They're not trying to keep it to themselves. So, okay, so some of the things you might need to provide when you're applying for a scholarship. A lot of them will ask for transcripts. Not all of them. There's tons that don't ask for transcripts, where grades isn't even an issue. But there are some that do, and that's legit. You can get that from the registrar at the high school. Test scores, sometimes they'll ask for an ACT or an SAT. Essay, there's quite a few essay scholarships, and there's a lot of scholarships that aren't necessarily essay scholarships, but they'll ask for a short essay in addition to whatever else you're turning in. Totally fine. You can always recycle essays, if you have something that's similar. Mary, when she was applying for scholarships, I think she took an essay and she kind of tweaked it a few times for different, because it was kind of along the same lines kind of thing. Totally fine to do that. Letters of recommendation. Pass these out. We have just this simple form at the high school. I mean, obviously you can ask anyone for a letter of recommendation, a neighbor, a friend, a teacher, a counselor. This makes it a little bit easier. It's just basically you can have the student will fill this out, brag all about their wonderful self and all the great things they've done, and then they can make a copy of it, give one to a teacher, give one to a counselor, whoever you want a letter from, and then that counselor or person has more information that they can put into that letter to write a better letter. Does that make sense?
Well, that's a good idea.
So, take some of those. Documentation of extracurricular activities. So if you're going for a sports scholarship of some sort, of course you've got to have documentation that you've been doing that for a long time. If you're going for a service scholarship, you need to generally have, I did this many hours of this, or this many hours of that. This is just a really basic sheet that I just put together. It can really be any kind of documentation, but that just kind of tracks service hours. If you're volunteering at the library or volunteering at, say, the Beehive House or whatever, you can use that and just say, okay, 4 hours and have somebody sign it, that is, they'll accept that as documentation of service. Proof of financial needs, generally FAFSA. Documentation of community involvement, which is kind of what that was. Extracurriculars, a lot of other things too, I guess. You may need to have an audition or be interviewed for some scholarships, depending, maybe talent scholarships, that kind of thing. Or other documentation such as a health record or ethnicity, things like that. There's a lot of minority scholarships. There's scholarships for people with concussions. There's scholarships. This is like, yeah. There's scholarships for.
There's scholarships for redheads.
Redheads, yeah, there's scholarships for
Oh my gosh, no funny.
lots of stuff. So, there's one for tall people, although that one, I've looked at that, and it's out there, but they don't really have it in Utah. There's other places, but.
Tall people.
I know, there's
Short people.
short people. There probably is one for short people. There's anything you can think of, you know, like if there's say you had a parent pass away, or say you're the child of a veteran that was killed in action or something like that, you know, you've got to have documentation of that, right, for that scholarship. Okay, a few helpful hints. Get organized, right? Use personal calendar, spreadsheet, I kind of talked about that. Look for local scholarships, okay, because there's going to be fewer applicants in general. Some industries offer scholarships for students going into that field. So if you're going into nursing, look for nursing scholarships, right? It's kind of a no-brainer, but read through all of the qualifications, requirements, and directions for each scholarship that you apply for. Don't miss any little small writing, because it's just any excuse to throw out an application when they've got 500, you know.
Yeah.
So don't give them that excuse. Right?
That's what I've been told.
So have a scholarship folder and or a Google folder. Keep everything in one place. Keep a backup file of each submission, that kind of thing. Okay, keep track, keep records. Be neat. Have someone proofread everything before you submit. You know, it seems like, I mean, you guys probably all know this, but kids sometimes don't think about it. You know, pay close attention to deadlines, and just keep applying, right? Even all through your college career, because that's I was done. You know, I got a scholarship for admission, and then, you know, but it was a whole different ballgame back then.
I was gonna say, we're
There was no
dumb.
internet.
Whole different ballgame. But I didn't think to keep applying or to keep looking for scholarships, right? While you're in college, well, you know, do it. So, okay. So remember, they can be repetitive. It can be repetitive, time-consuming, feel redundant. It's not just going to fall in your lap. It does take a little bit of work. Okay. So this is just a funny little example, but if it takes an hour to fill out an application and you do 10 scholarship applications, right? If you get awarded one and it's only $500, that's still $50 an hour, right? So that's just throw that out there.
Tax free.
Yeah. So just apply, you know, if you are eligible for it and you've got the time to do it, or, you know, the focus, just apply, you know. Sometimes it'll stick. So it does become too late, though. It's not too early. So let's talk about a few more things. Alrighty, we're done. Okay, a few other options. Okay. Maybe we'll, sorry. Maybe we'll. Is it off? Okay. Okay, so a few thoughts. There's a lot of jobs out there that have tuition reimbursement. So say you work part-time at Cypress Credit Union, they will give you some tuition reimbursement while you're in school, right? Not bad, right? Chick-fil-A, there's a lot of companies that do that. So I do have a list of some. These are a bunch of companies that do offer some form of tuition reimbursement. So if you are working a part-time job, or your child is working a part-time job while going to college, they might as well do that as well, right? Okay, so we get tuition and room and board out of it. So there's that. We kind of talked about the idea of AP and concurrent credit, including like JTC program, things like that. I consider that free tuition, right? Okay, so keep that in mind for your kids. Salt Lake Community College. Okay, here's a thought too. This just happened like last month. Salt Lake Community College offers all of this concurrent credit, right? But they give this to the students and they all go to different universities. So they want to kind of retain a few kids to go to Salt Lake Community College. So they just now have started offering a tuition waiver for students that have 6 credits or more of concurrent credit and go to Salt Lake Community College once they graduate. So that's just 2 classes. So if you just take the English 1010, English 2010, you've got your 6 credits, right? So
What do you get for that? A tuition waiver?
it's a tuition, it's not
One
huge.
semester?
Yeah, no, it's 2 semesters, it's $500 a semester, so it's $1,000. So if you have a student that's doing the concurrent, whatever, and they decide, yeah, I'll do some generals at Salt Lake Community College, that's $1,000 for doing it. That's this year, they're trying it out this year, hoping it sticks, you know, we're hoping that they'll keep doing it. So there's no guarantees, but there's just started that. There's a few programs that nobody, at least I had never heard about them until I started working here, people don't really hear about. They're for juniors. So Girls State, Boys State, have you guys heard of those? You've heard of those? Okay. Girls State, Boys State up at Weber. If they go to this, it's during the summer, it's $400, but they get, and that covers their week, room and board and all the classes and everything. They get 3 credits of political science from Weber, and they also, most of them get scholarships to Weber.
Yep.
If they go through it. So it's awesome, right? If Weber's the thing.
They only take 2 from each school, I think.
Is it just 2?
Mhm.
You do have to apply.
Yeah, I thought
you
it
have
was,
to apply.
it's not like super easy to get in.
Yeah, it's not easy to
Boys
get into
State.
Girls
There's,
State, Boys State,
well,
it's
but there's not a lot to apply. I mean, it's
Exactly.
not a big, there's not a big.
But there's summer
Girls
program for
State
poli-sci.
and Boise State.
No,
No,
yeah, it's a
they
political.
actually, they run
Yeah,
a
we-
state, you actually get, I went.
You get to run
It
a
was
state.
Did you go?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
And so you go down to SU, you're there for a week.
oh no, that's
No,
Governor's.
that's Governor's Academy.
Well, they had it there.
Oh, they had Girls State,
Yes.
it was down there?
Yeah, it
Really?
used to be SU, so where's it at? Out of
Weber
This is
State
up at
now.
Weber.
Okay, so it's up at
You're
Weber
right,
now.
when I went, it was.
It was at
yeah.
SU. So they do, you actually have, you run a city, you run the
Yeah.
state, you have electoral college, you have you run the whole political system in a week.
Yeah.
So you elect senators, governors. The senators actually go back to Washington and go to Girls and Boys Nation, which is incredible. So it's this huge, it's this awesome experience that really submerges you in the political system, and it's great.
And even if you're not going into poli-sci.
Even if you're not going to poli-sci.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
How much is it?
that's $400.
And that's how long?
It's like a week. It's a
Yeah.
week, and it's the summer right after your junior year.
That's really good for a college application. If you
Yes.
guys are boys in Girls
Yes.
State. Yeah.
Also, SU has Governor's Academy.
Yeah, that's what I did.
So this is a little different. It's 6 credits, and then once you've completed it, they give you a 4-year tuition scholarship.
That was me.
Big deal. That's awesome. So that's something we're
I
here
did
for.
4 years, but,
So
well,
if you can
it's not
get-
as well known, so, you don't have as many applicants. Girls State and Boys State is like way more known. That's beautiful. But, yeah, I was told about Governor's Honors Academy by my 8th grade counselor.
Okay,
And she was like, if you wanna go to SU, do this, and no one had even, so I was the only applicant.
Is that in certain years?
So you go to that.
No, that's
It's, you know what, that's a good question.
No, you go your sophomore, summer your sophomore.
South probably.
I had my scholarship
Between
before
sophomore
I
and
even started my junior year.
Okay, okay.
Maybe.
So yeah, I don't know when the
I wish
test is.
they would have, when I went through Girls State, they didn't give scholarships,
Oh,
right? You used it, it looked really good on your,
yeah.
Yeah.
whatever,
they
your
didn't
scholarship
say.
application.
I don't think
but-
there's a guarantee of scholarships
I didn't
though.
catch it.
I know most of the kids get it for Weber, like $1,000.
It's a really nice experience.
Okay, okay, one other thing. Actually, there's a few other things. Okay, our Harriman High School has this program that I run. It's called Keys to Success. I don't run it. It's through the whole state, but not all the high schools have it. But Harriman High does have it. It's Keys to Success. It's kind of an incentive program. You know, student makes a goal for the teacher. They reach that goal. They get a little key card that has, you know, they can choose a prize, basically a free meal somewhere, an entrance somewhere. That's kind of the basic, you know, run-of-the-mill stuff. But when you're a senior, if your school's in Keys to Success, when you're a senior, they offer several scholarships to students from Harriman High School. Okay, so they've always had one for SLIC, it's $1,000. They always have one for UVU, it's $1,000. They've always had one for Weber, it's $1,000. And then they rotate some of the others. This year we have one to Snow for the first time. Last year we had a $3,000 to the UVU. Let's see, where else did we get one this year? There's a couple more. Oh, Paul Mitchell is one, $1,000. We've always had Paul Mitchell too, every year. And then I think we have a 500 to Mountain Land. Anyway, so the cool thing about these little Keys to Success scholarships, I toot it all of the time, but the kids don't pay attention. It goes to a graduating senior from that high school who got a key card, who's paying attention and actually applies. So we don't have very many applicants.
Wow.
Okay. Okay,
And what do they have to do to get a
Actually,
key?
it's changed a little bit. I take it back. It used to be that they had to get a key card. They don't have to get a key card anymore. They can just apply through their new app or online, ktsutah.org.
But what
or
do,
com.
like, I don't get what they would have to do to get a key.
To get a key card,
Yeah,
it's not that hard. You just make a goal with a teacher. Like, I'm going to turn in every assignment this semester. Oh, okay. And then they do, and you get
And
a
you
key
have
card.
to be senior, right? Senior, is that your
Well, you can
senior?
get key cards any grade,
Okay.
but to apply for the scholarship, you have to be a graduate. Yes. So, apply for those. So, Noah was one of, I think, like 4 that applied for the SLIC one, and he
Will you
got
say
it.
their website again?
It's ktsutah.com. So if you're interested,
You said
.com, I meant com, sorry. A few years ago, my coworker's daughter was the only one that applied for the UB one. She got it, right? So, yeah.
Did you say there was a cost for the governor's?
Yes, the Governor's Academy,
I was
I
sponsored,
don't
and I
have
remember.
the amount. You can Google it. Google Governor's Academy, SUU, and
Yeah.
you'll find the information.
And once I got accepted, I went around to businesses and they actually sponsored me to go.
Yeah, you might be able to find
Especially the American Legion and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah,
So
for sure.
I had to pay.
We had to go speak at the American Legion. Like, they had all of the people who went to Girls State out of our city go and speak at the American Legion like 2 weeks in a row, and they paid for all of our
Awesome.
program. Yeah.
That's cool.
It was really cool.
Yeah, really, really cool.
It's a great.
Okay, so, keys to success, yes. There's also a local Herman Butterfield Scholarship. Have you guys heard of this? You've heard of it, Kim? So it's for Herman City residents who are graduating seniors, and they have to have completed at least 24 hours of service in the calendar year leading up to the due date. And they've changed it. It used to be like May, then it was April, now it's March, I think. So calendar year, March to March, at least 24 hours of service to citizens in Herman, or to some entity in Herman City limits. They like to favor the students that are on the Herman Youth Council. They don't always. Noah applied, he was on the Herman Youth Council for 1 year, and he applied and they only had 2 applicants. And they have 3 awards to give away. So, but last year, Mary applied, and she was also on Herman City Council, which was a great experience, by the way. And there were, like 10 applicants. She got the lower award. That's great, it was $500, So, it adds up, yeah, it adds up. So there is that, the highest award's 1,000, then I think it's 700, then I think it's 1,000. So there's that one, just a little local Herman one. Let's see, what else? Let me pass, I've got just a few more flyers that I grabbed. Oh, okay, this is a list of college application essay due notes. So, applying for the college, yes.
Start early.
Start early. Some of the applications.
Start yesterday.
So there's that. Oh, I didn't even pass this out. Okay, this is my main go-to flyer, the ABC's scholarships. It's got the information on, a lot of the stuff we just talked about, plus a bunch of tips and tricks. So take those. And then this
Just
one.
are all these flyers on the website too?
Some of them are.
Okay.
I don't know that all of them are. Most of them probably are. Yeah. Okay, so let me pass this too. This doesn't get a lot of traction at the high school. It's not really even out there, but it's kind of something that I have gathered. These are scholarship opportunities for children 13 and under. Okay, so let's just read the little top there. Let's see, none of the national online scholarship databases include information about college scholarships that are available only to children under age 13 because of the federal privacy laws. They can't collect information on them. So they can't spread that out. So let's go through just a few of these that'll catch my eye here. Zions pays for A's, you guys know about that one?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not huge, but if you have a Zions bank account, have your kid get a Zions bank account, and then every A that they get, middle school, I think it's 7th grade on through 12, every A they get is $1 in their account. And then also it's an entry into a drawing for $1,000. So who knows, you might be the lucky one, right? And if not, you have $100 or something like that, If you bank there anyway, you might as well, right? You know, a lot of these aren't huge awards, but there's definitely some. What are the good ones? Jordan Credit Union, also. Every $5 or more deposit into a child's account generates a ticket basically for a drawing. Or that one if you have a drawing. Doodle for Google.
That's actually going on right now.
Yeah, that's down, let's see. What's ours that looks like? UESP, okay, so this one's kind of fun. This UESP Make Your Mark Bookmark Contest, have you guys seen that one? My kids have done it like every year.
Yes, so much. I never win.
No, but someone does.
Someone
And we
does.
had, a couple years ago, we had a senior at Herman High School won $1,000, right? So you guys all know, actually, it's not called really UESP anymore. They changed the name, it's My 529. Do you know what the 529 plans are? So this is money where you save money for your child's college expenses, right, through the state, 529 plan. And it grows in there, and then you can take it out tax-free if you use it for college expenses, right? So, if you win this little bookmark contest, they put the money into a 529. If you don't already have one, they open, they open one for it. But it's pretty cool. Kindergarten through 12th grade, and there's little sections, so kindergarten through 3, 4 through 6, etc. Levels. It's interesting. Last year, Mary and Lena both applied or tried. They both designed bookmarks and sent them in. Why not? And they didn't win, but they both got a letter back that said, "Sorry, you're not a winner, but we really liked yours, so here's $100." I was shocked. I'm like, oh. Because they didn't advertise they were going to do that. And I don't know why or what. But they just put it in their UES school. So they're actually. So that application doesn't ever come out until September 1st, and then it's due September 30th. So there's just a little month window where you just have. It's just design a bookmark. It's easy, fun, and they also have examples of past winners, so you can kind of see they really like colorful. That's another thing. Whenever you're looking at a scholarship, a lot of times they'll give you examples of past winners. Those are great. Just to give you an idea of what they're looking for. And you can just, video or whatever you're doing. Oh, okay, I gotta be at least up to that part, to try and get there. Patriots Pen. There's a lot of little service awards for young humanitarians, that kind of thing. Some essays. Anyway, so this is what I have found as far as 13 and under for some of those things. As far as how the funds are distributed or what they're looking for or what they will accept or what they won't, it's completely individual depending on the scholarship. They can set whatever parameters that they want. Sometimes they'll just cut you a check, sometimes they'll put it in a 529, sometimes they want to send it direct to the school. Sometimes, there's just, they can decide. It's their scholarship, right? So you just kind of gotta see what they have in their details and go with that.
And then there's restrictions with the scholarship.
Sometimes.
The Governor's Honors Academy is huge.
Sometimes there's
Which
restrictions.
is hard.
A lot of scholarships, especially in Utah, are deferrable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So
That's
look for
true.
those details as well if you've got a missionary going off. Gosh, what else, guys? Give me some questions. Any questions? Thoughts? Concerns? Did I overwhelm you all? Like, ooh, lots of info. Okay. Okay, well, I hope that's helpful. Maybe it gives you some places to start.
Very helpful.
Okay. Grab information or don't.
Oh, I was gonna ask, so like for older kids,
Yeah.
so Quinn's gonna be down the road to go to college, are there I guess the answer would be yes, but scholarships that she could get later on
Yes.
when she's older?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,